Yeah, you gotta have a little buffer
There's
on
always a
each end.
buffer. Technology.
We could already be live.
What's up, profitable stylist? We are live. And we have a special treat for everybody this week. We have Janine Farrow from the American Hair Loss Council with us. Hi, Janine. Good morning. Oh, what happened to your audio?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Janine?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
I maximized my screen and it got rid of the audio. I don't know. Sorry.
Say it again, Eddie. We have Janine Farrow with the American Hair Loss Council.
Take two. What's up, profitable stylist?
Gosh.
So I want to talk a little bit about hair shows, continuing education. This is Janine. You know what? Instead of me trying to say who you are, you want to introduce yourself, say who you are and what you do and what the American Hair Loss Council is?
Sure. Janine Farrow, we've already established that. I'm the administrator of the American Hair Loss Council, and we are a nonprofit educational organization for the hair restoration industry. So we, in the context of what we're talking about today, we host an annual conference, and that is exclusive hair restoration products. We have 28 vendors. It's 3 days. And it's coming up in September.
Yes, and tomorrow is the last day to sign up for it.
Yes.
Is that right?
Oh.
We'll take some stragglers, but you might have a handwritten name badge.
Yeah, that's funny. We were talking about that.
We will know who you are.
Right. Right. You'll have the big black Sharpie, marks a lot, whatever you call it, name written, instead of the printed, so we know if you paid late. So sign up today or tomorrow. No, but let's talk about what that show is. It'll be Eddie's first time this year. Yeah, he's never been before. And I have to admit, it'll only be my second time. I went once just last year. And for years and years, I've been going to hair shows. But I wanted to talk about the importance of education, continuing education, hairdressers in general, and barbers education. I've been licensed for about 30 years, and I've experienced the good and the bad of education. Each state, sadly though, each state has a different rule for their cosmetologists. I'm a cosmetologist. I am also a barber, but started off as a cosmetologist. So I'm going to kind of talk that route for a minute, not so much to barbers. But in the cosmetology world, some states do not require continuing education, like me in Louisiana. But Eddie, in Chicago, Illinois, they do require continuing education. Every state has a different amount of hours. So with no requirements for it, I went the first 7 years as a hairdresser, really just trying to figure out how to live, how to make enough money to survive. I'm having these babies that cost money, new house, new family, trying to figure out how to survive as a hairdresser, just making money, and kind of stumble upon the Paul Mitchell brand. Somebody says, do you want to be an educator? Come to this class. And then they're like, oh, you're really good at this one thing. Want to come help us at a hair show in, Birmingham, Alabama? I guess so. And I get there and I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole new world out there of education. All these vendors with so many products. It was like Christmas. It was exciting. And and this was 7 years in. So I caught this bug, this excitement, like there's way more out there than I know how to do. I don't even know where to go now. And I want to be one of those people on that stage. And this, you got to know this too, guys. I'm getting old. So this is like 24 years ago. The internet's young. I know that sounds stupid, but there's no social media. There's no Google. There's no like getting education online some kind of a way. You had to physically do it or you didn't know it exists. So the hair show was kind of like the hair world's World Wide Web. That's where you found out stuff. And so I meet Janine just about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and find out that she has a sort of smaller hair show that is in this department. I hate using this word because I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Niche or niche. In this niche area, what do you guys say? Niche or niche?
Niche sounds way more bougie.
Niche.
So
It doesn't matter what I say. You're going to make fun of my accent one way or another.
That's right. So this niche category that me, as a profitable stylist trying to be profitable, hair replacement, I had been to one company called On Right years ago. Now they're Hair Visions. I had been to their little conference where they just try to teach how to about their 20 or 30 hair systems and how to use them. And then there was a couple of other people that sold hair replacement. They each had their own little conference where a few people would go. But Janine has the honor of and difficulty of putting all these people in the same room. All the people that sell hair replacement and high-end wigs and hair pieces and anything hair restoration like. And it kind of spills over into extensions a little bit because that's hair restoration also. Puts all of these people that sell hair, two hairdressers, all in the same room. And in my mind, I would think they would not get along. But it's like putting a bunch of pit bulls in the same room and they don't fight.
Amazing to see the support, how they support one another. And when I first got involved in the organization maybe 10 years ago, and it was a lot smaller at the time. But I remember one guy was a vendor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll watch your table for you." And I think it was John Renault and European Hair Imports. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're best friends." It's like I sell their stuff, they sell my stuff. So it's a great atmosphere.
That's nice. That is really nice. And so a year ago when I went, I carry an extension product line, and I thought, would I go there and show my extensions? Let me just go check this show out. And I'm thinking kind of arrogantly, I'm going to go visit. I'm not going to learn anything. I've been doing this 30 years. I'm just going to go and see how many people show up.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Go. And I'm like, wow. It made me want to get back behind the chair a little bit. I teach and train my own staff, and I teach hairdressers across the country different things in extensions and newly in the hair replacement the last couple of years. And so I go there, and I had never made a template of a head out of fiberglass before. And they're making fiberglass molds, and they make it look so simple. And I thought, this plaster of Paris is working fine for me. Why do I need? And they're doing it in I guess it's a brand name. People are calling it Bicast. So you put this Bicast here, and I'm like, first of all, this is a new word for me. What is Bicast? And then I realized, okay, it's just fiberglass in a different form, and it's so easy to use. And they're so freely speak. This is what I loved. I'm thinking, okay, now somebody's going to try to sell me on this product from them, and they say, you just get it on Amazon. I'm like, wow, these are just hairdressers doing really good hair replacement and telling us their secrets of where they get the stuff the cheapest. Some are from the vendors, but some were just Amazon. So it wasn't like somebody trying to sell a product. It's more about education and really just getting better at it. And if you get something from some of these vendors, great. But if you get it from Amazon, that's fine also. And that's when the guard was let down. I was like, they telling me how to get it at Amazon. This is real, just sharing anything. And that was what got me excited. And then I saw something that was old that I had quit doing and thought was terrible, which was a long hair bonding that Shanna does. We had Shanna on here one time. Actually, she was visiting here, so she was just sitting right next to me when we did a video live. And I saw her doing this old technique that I was like, oh no, too time consuming. Hate it, don't want to ever do it again. It's too messy, sloppy. I watch her do it in a demo presentation, and she's got it so systematized and clean and neat and has an exact time. Like it only takes this much time and we charge this much money. And I thought we could do this. And we got a couple of customers that need it. And one of the big selling points was it was a no shave technique. Women don't want to shave their heads most of the time. So being able to put hair on a lady's head and not shave their head was another huge thing. So not only did I learn new ways to do old things and new things that I kind of heard about or never heard about, it was pretty exciting. I left there with a new website company, a new marketing company, a new technique. I mean, it was fun. And so we're going back as a vendor this year, and Eddie's going to help us out.
I want to make sure I clarify one thing because our vendors would be really upset, you probably being one of them. The vendors that participate, do sell hair, and we do not recommend buying it on Amazon.
I know.
So what Bernard was talking about is on set, right? Eddie's going like, oh. On Saturday, we do, and this year is going to be a little bit different, but on Saturday last year, we had a 101 class on mold making. There was a marketing. But this year, so in the morning, we'll do some technical classes that will be communicating, some social media marketing, a consultation with people who suffer with trichotillomania. And then in the afternoon, there's going to be live platform demonstrations, which is new this year. I think they've done it back in the day. I think the AHLC started in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
They were really big. Then they had like a downward turn. And then we've made a great comeback. There'll probably be over 400 people there this year, including vendors and staff. And a lot of vendors bring studio owners to help them do their training. So there'll be live platform demonstrations. We have a mixer at night. And then there'll be breakout, and trade show floors open all 3 days. And then we'll have breakout classes each hour, both Sunday and Monday. So it's a great opportunity, and it is exclusively hair restoration. So you won't find hair color companies. Now we do have some marketing. We have two marketing companies. We have a salon software company present, but then lots of other wig, extension, hair companies. So it's a great thing.
So let me clarify there a little bit, because I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to be working with John Renault a little bit this year and talking to them about what adhesives they sell, what support products. Many times they tell me, we don't care where people buy their adhesives, their glues, their tapes, their mold making materials. We sell and make most of our money selling hair. We want to support hairdressers selling hair. I think a lot of the companies, me included, are like that. We sell hair. If you buy some of the little support products from Amazon or somewhere else, it's just not a big deal, although we sometimes sell those side products. So, right, I get it. I was just shocked that so many hairdressers were so open about everything, where they get, even some people were getting certain kind of, like, men's hair from one company, women's hair from another company, wigs from this company. And that was neat also, how we could share who we get things from. So let's talk about something that I can never understand, no matter how many times you and I talk about it. I'll let you clarify a few things. From what I understand,
wait. Should I go get some popcorn for this? Is this going to be really a good one?
So if you're a hairdresser and you haven't been doing hair replacement for at least a year, or maybe it's longer, you can't even come to this show.
Yes. So what keeps the lights on, us having a website, ahlc.org, hosting a conference, we publish a quarterly magazine, is the membership is kind of, the foundation. So and you'll have to excuse me, I'm not a hairdresser. Oh, look, star of the show. I'm not a cosmetologist. I have really good friends that are, but I am the admin side. So I coordinate the conference, I publish the magazine. So we are the foundation is a membership organization. So for the cost of, it's $425 the first year, $375 each additional. We have a private Facebook forum. We publish the magazine, and then we have a listing on our website. And our website has information for the end consumer. If you're Googling, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go through chemo. What am I going to do about losing my hair? Our organization hopefully comes up in a Google search. And we have a locator map. So there's information about hair loss, or hair restoration too, I like to call it. Each magazine that we do, we create a blog post. So we're a great resource, but also we have a locator map. So the benefit of someone who owns a studio who does hair restoration, they are listed on our locator map. So I get calls sometimes a couple times a week of end consumers saying, I need help. I'm losing my hair. What do I do? So I point them to our locator map, or I can help them, put in the zip code and they can find someone near them up to 200-mile radius. Sometimes people are traveling and some of our members will post on the forum, hey, my client's traveling to Louisiana, can you help them out? It's a great, and I would love to speak to that. In addition, is the network that we provide. So then the conference is for people who do hair restoration, because it is a lot of training. It's meeting vendors. It's being able to see, feel, touch, learn how to use their products. And a lot of our vendors have continuing education that you can take. But ours is a great opportunity to be like, shop all of them and decide which one you connect with, which one you want to decide which direction you want to go. So the membership organization is kind of just what keeps the lights on. And there are benefits, but it's also for vendors that our audience, there's that niche word again, is their niche. And so if I'm coming to sell hair systems, every one of our attendees are potential buyers because they're salon owners or the salon staff. So I think that's kind of what makes us a little bit unique. Smaller, but still unique, and I think very beneficial.
So you go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most excited about to attend this year, is because I've been doing shows for about 20 years now. And it was always say it again.
She's never been to the big hairdresser shows.
Oh, you've never been to the big hair shows. Okay.
She's only been in this niche category. So I'm going to compare the two in a minute because I think there's some interesting comparisons, but go ahead.
Well, I hope you do, because that's what I was just about to speak to. It's always, so far as I always knew, especially when I first started, it was always the four big ones. It was Chicago, Florida, the Vegas show, and New York.
Isn't there?
What's that?
Long Beach, California, isn't there one there too?
They're all. They
do smaller shows.
So those are considered right. Those are considered smaller shows, and that was never on my radar. Again, like Bernard was saying earlier, the internet's young. You can't just post on there somewhere and the whole world knows. You just had to know. So by traveling around, when I would go to the Vegas show, I would speak to people locally from there, obviously, and they would tell me about the California shows. I would go to the Florida show, and then they'd tell me about the Alabama show. I'd go to New York, and they'd tell me about the Connecticut show or whatever. And then at the Chicago show, they'd tell me about the shows up in Michigan. And then when, the longer you'd be representing a vendor, then they'd start sending you out to teach at smaller at individual distributorships. And then those distributorships would talk about their smaller shows that they would put on, right?
Not to mention, 20 years ago, there was no internet to find all of these shows. So you had to find out about them at the show.
At the show. And that's how you would network with each other. And it would really create this amazing community. And the equivalency nowadays is online. Your private Facebook. Well, no, excuse me. Private Facebook groups are different. Nowadays, you have public forums and public groups, and all they do is put each other on blast, in my opinion. I don't think they're a proper community where they really, truly help each other. But when you have organizations such as yourself, shush you, I'm saying, when you have organizations like yourself, or like we have some private groups of our own, we really do focus on staying positive and helping each other and trying to bring that community sense to each other and focusing on the education and helping with tips and tricks and support and such like that. So I love everything you're saying, because I'm so excited to see a group of hairdressers get together where everybody's on equal footing, and it is about sharing information and getting educated. So go ahead and do your comparison, Mr. Man.
I didn't know if you wanted to rebuttal any of that.
Go ahead.
I still haven't. So is that true? Basically, that you have to have been doing hair replacement for a certain time period to even be able to go, and to go cost about $1,000 for a hairdresser?
We a program that we set up a couple of years ago that's called the sponsored membership, and it just means, hey, I want to learn about hair restoration. I don't own my own shop yet, or I do, but I'm just learning. And so it's a sponsored membership. You don't show up on our locator map because we don't want to send clients to somebody who's like, well, I'm just starting. And so it's
Right.
it's a good introduction for somebody who's just learning and just starting out.
And what does that cost?
So $375, and then our conference is $449, and that includes 3 days of trade show floor, all the breakout classes that we offer, and then we have meals too. And we found that that's part of how conference hotels give us conference space, by committing to a food budget and hotel rooms, which this year our hotel rooms were like $159, and now they're like at $350. And we're really close to sold out. So if people do want to come, there's hotels down the street. But the meals, and I think Bernard could certainly speak to this, that's where the networking.
That's what I was going to talk about next.
Yes, it's great. It's like people like, I'm not going to go to this Saturday night mixer, which some do, some don't. But I think it's pretty well attended. But that's where, like, the downtimes is where you're going to sit with somebody who, and that's where Bernard will, I think he's told me and written even an article about it, about the network and the connections that he made that he wouldn't have made anywhere else.
True. That is so true. So, Eddie, I want to see if you can help me here a little bit. I haven't paid to go to a hair show in so many years, being on the stage. You either, probably, but maybe when you go to a regular hair show, what does it cost to go to the show? What's the ticket price for a day or for the weekend? Do you know?
I believe it's about 80 to $100 something, depending on if you get the 3-day pass. Like, you could get a 3-day pass that's discounted, or you can get a single day pass.
So within a couple $100, you go to most hair shows are 2 days. There's a couple of them that are 3 days, but right. So for a 2 or 3 day hair show, most hairdressers know that a show costs $100 to $200, and then there's a whole bunch of student passes where they get a big group of students. They get to come for free because they're trying to fill up some numbers, fill up classes, and then you'll go to these potential breakout classes with so many people in there that the stage performance is really educational. It's more demonstration, motivation to buy the product they're presenting. And that was one of the huge differences in a smaller niche show. So in the ticket price, sure, to go to this thing, I was even a little like, ooh, golly, is this really worth it? I'm paying over $800 to go. And then, of course, I'm flying to San Diego that time. It's in Charlotte this year. That's the neat thing. It moves around the country, so that helps people out. Some people like different locations. But I go to San Diego, and it costs a little more to get there than it is going to cost to get to Charlotte, and then you've got to pay for the hotel. But then usually you would be paying for food going to a hair show. You'd have to buy your own food. In this situation, she's got it all catered already. So a lot of the meal, not every meal, not dinner, but the mixer is a nighttime thing. Is that Saturday night, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lunch on.
Hold on.
What's wrong? You got a question?
No, YouTube is doing something crazy. Okay, here we go. Start off from the mixer again.
So the mixer being on Saturday night is the only evening meal that's covered. But then on Sunday and Monday, is it breakfast and lunch is covered?
And lunch on Saturday as well.
And what?
Lunch on Saturday as well.
Oh, okay. So quite a few meals are covered in your ticket. That's huge. But it's not just that the meals are covered. It's the networking that happens during the meals, because at a hair show, you're just picking up crap food here and there. Maybe you're getting some nachos and cheese. Maybe you're going across the street. Maybe you're going into the local hotel bar. But here, and maybe you meet another hairdresser that has something good to say. But here, you're in the one room, like a banquet, and everybody's getting similar food. Sure, maybe not as many food choices. That's not the big deal here. It's good food, but you're definitely sitting at these round tables that seat 10 or 12, and you are forced to sit with other hairdressers, whether you like it or not. And what?
In the hall by yourself if you want.
Yeah, it's rare that you're going to find enough tables to sit by yourself, or you could go into the lobby. But most of the time, you have a really good excuse to sit at a table with other hairdressers because you're kind of holding your plate or your box and you're looking like, is this seat taken? And so people start getting used to kind of sitting together, just fill up the tables, and it'll be 2 or 3 different salon groups together potentially, and or hair replacement studio groups. And so then the conversation starts. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? How long have you been in hair replacement? Really? How do you market? Where do you get your clients? Are you using that company that's over that? So you really start networking, and then you're like, how many leads do you get from that company? I'm thinking about, there's 2 marketing companies here, and I've been talking to both of them. Which one do you like more? And so that's really the power of the show. And I mean, that happens in the lobby and at night also. But those breakfasts and lunches are where you find yourself starting to sit with the same people a few times because you're like, I want to finish that conversation I started with her earlier. One lady stood up in one of the classes right as it's getting started, and she said, I'm older, not as I'm not as computer savvy, and I'm having trouble knowing how to do this. And if anybody can help me with that, please come sit with me at lunch and tell me what you know about doing this or whatever it was. And I was like, that was smart. I bet you she got all kind of people coming to her at lunch to help her learn something she wanted to learn. I think it was something about Google AdWords or something. So she got a lot of help with that. I mean, I left getting a new website, getting a new marketing company. I mean, new members to do this with. There was a lot. I did a lot, and it's in some of the articles. But that money you spend, it's more. It's more money to come here because you get so much more. You're not paying to go to breakout rooms that are just marketing or advertising or demoing a little bit. Janine's, she's like the education police. She hates it when I call her the police. But she, so many times, what's that? Go ahead.
Flash you my badge.
She's flashing her badge.
So many times when we're talking about, she's like, so tell me what you're thinking about doing. I'm thinking she's just interested, but she's judging me. And so I'll start talking about it. And she says, well, it can't seem so salesy. It's got to be educational. Our show is to teach people. People need to leave knowing how to do something. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, I thought I was. I guess I naturally am a bit of a salesman. Sorry. let me make sure I'm teaching something. So that's kind of nice because she is policing that side of it. Like every breakout room you're going to go to, here's something that was exciting to me. There's multiple times a day, there are 3 different rooms that you could go to learn things, and you have to choose which one of the 3 is most important to me. And many times you want to go to more than one or all 3. Now, most of these guys are doing that same thing again the next day, but there's a good chance that you can't see everything you want in one show year, which to me is exciting. It almost forces you to have to go back a second year because you pick each one, like how many before lunch? Is there 3 different? How many times a day are there 3 things to choose from?
I think we have because we have 28 vendors this year and not all teach, but we have 7 sessions, 7 45-minute sessions. And I'd like to speak to being coordinator, and I see both sides. I want to be sure, and this is my personality, I want everybody to be happy. But if you're writing 3 days out of your books, you're spending money to get there. We want to make sure it's a good bang for your buck, that you're getting not just sold a bunch of products, not that our vendors don't sell their stuff and teach you how to use them, but it has to be educational in nature as well. Because that's the big draw, is that we can learn something new about products, application, all the things. And then for vendors, conversely too, it's like, they want to be able to share and get enough screen time, face time with each person. So I think we do a really good job at balancing that, making it worth everyone's time to be there because, it's an investment financially and time-wise. And then something else you said earlier, Bernard, that I think it just kind of drives home that connection thing is if you meet somebody who owns a salon randomly, you're at Starbucks, right? You're not going to be as open and want to share all your secrets or certain, because that's your competition. But if you meet that same salon type owner and they live on the other side of the country, they're like, oh yeah, you know, they're much more willing to connect because I think it's less threatening.
That's right.
So I hope you can't hear the hammering on my roof.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I love everything I'm hearing, and this is one of the things I'm so excited about because it's not a shopping extravaganza. You know, it's not a bazaar that you're showing up to. You're paying, you know, and that's the thing. Yes, I understand it's, you know, the cost, and everything has a cost, but the people who are coming to this show are more motivated. They're coming with a singular purpose with the intention to learn, to gain a skill set or to further enhance their current skill set. Yep. And to be able to share and network with each other and other people. So I love the idea of the breakout rooms. That's one of the things what first caught my attention when Bernard was explaining it to me. So in addition to the breakout rooms, though, there's some kind of I don't know, should I call it a main stage or
the Saturday thing?
The Saturday thing?
Just Saturday from like 1 till 4:30, I think. 3 vendors will be demonstrating at the same time. So it'll be moderated. We'll have a host that will ask questions, you know, introduce each person displaying, talk about I'm going to be doing this, and then ask field questions. So we haven't done it, and we are. It's not all me. I'm the administrator. We are run by a board. So some of the board members, you know, will be, like I said, it'll be hosted, right? So, but it is, I think back in the day they've done this, but this year is kind of a new platform live. So, you know, let's mix it up, and it's from input from our attendees. So I think it'll be great. And then actual instructional classes will happen, some in that morning and then all day Sunday and Monday. And the class descriptions and a like skeleton outline of our schedule is on our website. Under conference, there's like 3 different. And I also would like to say, because some of our vendors, and there's 3 this year, who are doing an extra training on Friday, we just figure we've got the hotel, you're going to be here. Why not? If you want a certification, there's, I think it's International Hair Goods, Hair You Wear, and New Image are all hosting a longer class on Friday that if you want to come in early, some of them are, I know the New Image one is deeply discounted. I think the other 2 might not be at any cost. It's on our website. There's links, but that's to take advantage of extra training before the conference.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what does the show floor look like? Because Bernard was describing to me that it is a different, like when you go to, okay, so what I'm used to,
yeah, Bernard's going to answer that one because I don't know. It's a trade show floor with
I got you.
vendors.
So then, Bernard,
Yeah.
I know you're telling, I'm not trying to sound negative. I'm really trying to be, I'm really not, that's not my intention, but I realize it is coming off negative. What I'm used to, what the show's
Not
used
yet.
to, what's that?
Not yet. Hadn't been negative yet. But go ahead.
Well, the hair shows when in the beginning, like up until about 10 years ago, hair shows were everything what we're talking about right now. You'd go get the education, you'd be there for the networking, you'd be there to interact with each other. You know, we'd be in the back prep area, and if I ran out of shampoo, I talked to the next vendor next to me. I'd be like, hey, miss, may I borrow some shampoo? She's like, oh, let me try that conditioner. That looks cool. And we're competing color companies, but we shared with each other, right? You know, a model would get a haircut with one brand and they'd send us over for extensions, and we'd be like, hey, this, you know, when we would be using our model, we'd say this model was used. We'd share models. We'd say this model was cut from these guys. Go check them out. they would say, our model has this extensions, go check them out, you know, and it was cool. So this past 10 years, it's kind of turned into a shopping bazaar. It's just people pull your, what do you call it? Your luggage, and just buy everything because it's 20% off or 50% off or whatever it is. And then just go, you know, it's just, they're coming for the deals. They're not so much coming for the education. It's kind of shifted slightly. Right. So what is, and the show floor is just like a mob of people where you have to kind of like swim through to get by because you're tripping over everybody's luggage.
Right. So right at first at this show, because the aisles are a little bigger between the vendors, in a real, I shouldn't call it a real hair show, in a bigger, more products, everything hairdressers, including shoes and Crocs and massage.
Oh, who's being negative now?
I'm not being negative. I'm saying they've got so much, good or bad. I mean, at one show will allow it, and then one show one year I saw a booth next to us bring jewelry, and they got kicked out, and they said, "Oh, this isn't a jewelry show; it's a hair show." And I'm thinking, but you've got massage and shoes here, and they're like, "Well, hairdressers need massages and good shoes." Like, oh, okay, we need jewelry too. So you know, it's there's a lot more at a big hair show. There's a lot more going on. There's just to give you an idea, Janine, the premier Orlando hair show, the last time I had been to it, there was 80,000 hairdressers there. 80,000. So yeah, when you say you were breaking up a little bit, say it again.
That's a lot of crazy.
Yeah. It's a lot. It looks, I mean, and you guys don't know, I don't know if you've ever been to New Orleans in my area for Mardi Gras, but a hair show's a lot like Mardi Gras. And if you go by some booths, they're literally throwing stuff out into the crowd. People are rushing the stage like a concert. It is big and it's crazy. And so I would say that the American Hair Loss Council meeting, it's a little more like a business meeting than a party. You know, there's going to be a few guys that are going to literally have suits on because that's how they go to work each day. Many of them going to have slacks and dress shirts, maybe a tie or not. You know, it doesn't look like a hairdresser show. There's a lot more space between the people. The typical booth at a hair show is 10 by 10. These are 10 by 12, and a couple of us have double booths. So got a couple of extra feet in the booth, and then the aisles are bigger. So there's more space. Nobody has like at a big hair show, they'll have microphones and speakers because just the crowd of 80,000 people is loud. And to speak over that crowd, everybody's kind of mic'd up, headset mic, and a little, even if it's just a little speaker, just to amplify them a little, it's not even necessary. It's not necessary at this because this is more like we can literally talk like business people. Love it or hate it, this is just the difference. You know, I know hairdressers love that, all that excitement, the lights, the loudspeakers, the concert-like atmosphere. And that's why this show is not for the average hairdresser. It is different. This is a niche group. This is like the hairdresser that is tired of just making that same old solid money that they're making. It's not, maybe not quite enough to live on. They're killing themselves. Their backs, necks hurting because they're working too many hours. And then they're like, I need to do something specialty. I need to move into hair extensions or hair replacement and learn how to do something that people don't mind paying a little money for. Then you come here and learn all the secrets. And we don't even recommend you come if you're just getting started. I'd say even maybe go to the Profitable Stylist on Teachable and take my hair replacement class. Learn how to do basic hair replacement, buy hair from any one of these guys and try a few. And then, you get some experience and then go to the show and learn all the tips and tricks and secrets. Go ahead, Janine.
It's something that I'm proud to be involved in, and I know cosmetologists, you make people look better, feel better.
Sure.
But there's a deeper level when you're putting hair on someone's head who's lost their hair, and that has been a driving force and a really grounding principle for this organization for me and what draws me to it. I get goosebumps thinking about how many times I've heard cosmetologist studio owners say how I got into this, and it was when I turn my client around and they've gone through chemo, or even a man with that's lost hair and now is wearing hair, it's like, that's me again, you know, with tears in their eyes or whatever. And that's kind of the foundation of, and I step back at the conference when all the details and where I'm like in the thick of it now, it's like I step back at a moment at times in the conference and go, these people help other people, you know, and help them at sometimes like at a really deep level, because losing your hair can be very traumatic. So I like that reminder of that base of we're kind of changing people's lives.
Definitely. That is the truth. I had been doing men's hair replacement in the early days for about a year, and a couple of ladies were begging me because I was doing hair in the salon as well, trying to build the hair replacement business. And a couple of ladies asked me, "Can't you put hair on my head just like you do my husband?" And I thought, I guess so. I don't know. I'm young. I hadn't been trained. So I give it a shot. And men will suppress their feelings a little more than women will. So the first lady I put hair on starts crying, tells me she loves me, starts hugging me, kissing me on the cheek. And I was a little embarrassed. I didn't know how to act. I'm not I'm not really into all that, but I got to tell you, that was way better than the money. Way better than the money. I was like, wow, I changed this lady's life, right? So you reminded me of that, and many clients since then. And of course, I've had quite a few now over the years. Guys turn around and tears are coming out of their eyes. But in that first year, it was a little more harsh and like, oh, thank you. Oh, wow, do look better. Thank you so much. I'll never stop doing this. And that was it. There was no tears or crying or hugs from the guys until the last 10 years. But the ladies from the beginning, you're right. I totally was doing it for the money. I'll be honest. I was doing it to make more money, to live a better lifestyle. But then when that came along with it, it was like, wow, I didn't think there was something better than money. And there is the feeling of changing people's lives is fun. And that's why I'm a teacher and an educator now. I like helping hairdressers learn how to do that. Because when they do it, they come back and they're like, oh my God, you changed my life. I changed her life. It's so rewarding. So yeah, I'm glad you brought us back down to earth.
Now, Janine, when is the show? And I know we keep saying Charlotte, but it is in North Carolina.
The Westin, Charlotte, September 10th through the 12th. Yeah.
Okay.
3 weeks.
3 weeks away. And if somebody does, so I know you guys were saying today and tomorrow is the last day for signups.
Yes, I mean, my phone number is on the website, goes, right there, and info@ahlc.org. I really suggest people check out our website, look at the details of the conference. I'm glad to answer any questions, and I do think it is the great thing for somebody new. It is like drinking water through a fire hose. It's a lot at once, but it's also, there's people here to walk you through it. That networking, I'm not sure where to start, but it's also exciting because it's a new opportunity and something new to help your client. I remember when I first learned about this industry and how I got into it, it's just it was kind of sideways, but I remember asking the girl who did my hair, I was like, so what do you do if someone's losing their hair? Like, how do you help them? She's like, I don't know. And so I think it's a very, it's important to be able to, I might comb it this way, but, so it's a new skill set. But I think I can't imagine that any stylist doesn't have at least one or two clients with thinning hair,
That's true. So, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because when people call me interested because they saw some marketing, they want to do it. And sometimes their first question is, I just don't know if I have the clients around here. Oh, I don't know how to find the clients. And I always say, are you doing clients now? Anything to clients? Yes. Do none of them have a little thin hair, need a little help? I mean, even hair extensions is a start towards adding hair to people's heads. So people they think that the clients they have are not the clients. But you're right. Many times there's a good percentage of the clients you already have, or their friends, their spouse, their loved ones, their mom, their dad. So yeah, you learn the service. It's going to change your life as you change other people's lives. Eddie doesn't do hair replacement. He just does hair extensions. So he's kind of excited about this
Not
show also. You were breaking up when you say those first few words. I don't know. It takes a few words for your volume to come in. What were you saying?
me.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said not yet.
Not
Right.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. He's been on here with me talking about it for months, and he sometimes asks a few intriguing, probing questions. But I think this show is going to be a big eye opener for him. He's coming to help support and represent the extensions. But I think as he looks around, he's going to be like, "I'm missing something big."
Oh, I'm very excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I do think it's, and that is another intrinsic value of what we offer, is that you're not going to one vendor show or learning about one product. You're seeing a plethora of things that you can say, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do toppers, I can do clip-in, I can do, and that's where I start losing because I'm not as technical, but there's all different kinds, and you get to sample it and see it and say, that kind of resonates with me. That might not, maybe not so much. So it's a great opportunity we are the only industry show like this.
You know, that's such a great point. It doesn't matter how many different types of educations I've taken. It doesn't matter how many different classes I've been to. Getting certified and getting educated each time, every time, another time, is so important, because you pick up something from the last class you went, and then in between the last class and the next class you go to, time passes, technology improves. You never know what you're going to hear from where or from who, and that's going to be the thing that changes everything. And that's why going to classes and taking classes over and over and over and staying up to date with everything is so important. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super motivated. I'm super excited to come.
I think that's something that Bernard said earlier in the conversation too, is that it's like you walked in there thinking, I've been doing this a while, I know what I'm doing, nobody can teach me anything new, and then you're like, so sometimes it's just hearing the same thing in another way. So is that right, Mr.?
That is right. So Eddie, you don't think I can just learn everything I need to know on YouTube all day, every day?
Well, I have to say yes because we're on YouTube, but no, you ain't. No. So here's
even we have hands-on classes that we're like, you cannot learn it all here. You need to.
No.
I mean,
one of the biggest jokes I make at the salon, especially when I have a new client and the owner of the shop that I work at, it drives her insane. So every time I have a new client, I'll do the consultation with them, and then before I walk away to go mix color or go get something, I'll say, you know what? I'm going to go in the back and watch a YouTube video real quick and learn how to do this. Give me about 2 minutes.
Right.
And the owner, Sabrina Sabrina always, she starts screaming from her station across the salon, shut up, he's an educator, he's not really gonna go watch YouTube, stop telling people that,
Yeah, I think that's the dangerous swing that we're doing now. Before, people just didn't get education, and then they learn at some point, like me, you've got to go somewhere to get it. And now with the rise of the internet, it's like, I don't have to go anywhere. I can learn it all on YouTube. You can learn a lot. Don't get me wrong. I learn a lot on YouTube. There's just some things that you've got to get around other people, even if it's just verbally. Like I was talking about sitting at lunch. People start talking about things they do that are different in their business, and you didn't even ask the question, somebody else did, and you're listening and you're like, that is a great idea.
Right.
I need to hear more about that laser. Wait, what? Laser for the head? You're using lasers? What are you selling lasers for? What are the lasers doing? How much you sell it for? And they're selling lasers for people to take home with them. That's one thing I never got into, but I know laser head therapy is a huge thing in the hair replacement world. I've never done it, sold it, marketed it, or anything, but there was a couple of classes in a booth there that promoted laser, and it was super fascinating. And it's probably one of the very few things I didn't actually spend money on, but was on my list to do and spend money on. But it was just like I did so much from that last show. Laser was kind of low on my list, and I'm like, stop. Let's get all these other things on, hitting on all cylinders before we move into laser. What were you going to say, Janine?
Well, there will be a laser company here again, and some like CR Labs has a laser, so some of them have them. But I think the other reminder, which to me is like it's intrinsic too. It seems intrinsic. It's like your industry is hands-on, touching, feeling. You work with your hands. So I would assume that gap certainly you can learn online, but there's a very different experience when you're in person and able to touch the product and work with it.
So I have a couple of classes online for how to do hair extensions. And just to give you an example of how I value the two different ones, if you want to learn from me online, it's a few dollars less than this, but I'm gonna round up. It's $1,400. If you want to come to my salon and spend the day with me, it's $4,000. Now, there's a few extra things. You do a live model. You get enough hair to do a live model when you go back home. But I know, first of all, my time's valuable, and I'm going to spend the whole day with one or two or three people. But I know they're going to learn so much more, and they're going to go home and actually have much more confidence. Whereas if I sell them an online class, they might just watch it and do nothing. They might not watch it at all. They might buy hair and not watch education. They might watch education, never buy hair. So there's, you have to be a pretty self-motivated person to get it done through video training. We provide it, but I don't think it's the best. You're right. Hands-on is the best. We got to wrap it up, Eddie. I got 11 o'clock meeting. I didn't realize. I just looked at the clock.
Man, we've been having so much fun talking. Okay, so Bernard, final thoughts.
Yes. Oh, what? You have a question?
No,
just
final thoughts. Final comment.
It's your final thoughts.
Thoughts are gone.
Thoughts are gone. I
Janine,
said all mine. That's why I said we had to end it.
All right,
I'm done.
with you.
All out of words.
I'm done with you, sir. Janine, so did we cover everything? Oh, the Ink magazine comes out. The Ink publication is quarterly.
Link. Hell. Link. Quarterly, right?
Yes, we publish quarterly. Yep. I think we did. Yeah, I didn't run away scared too. You guys are easy to chat with, so.
All right, and then we're going to put the link for the organization in the description of this video so people can go to it again too. But please give the contact information one last time.
ahlc.org, ahlc.org, and phone numbers on there. Feel free to contact me. I think it's a great opportunity that fairly unique, and we have lots of fun too.
Awesome. All right. Janine, thank you so much for spending your morning with us. We really appreciate you. And yeah, we actually ran longer than we usually do with each other. So that's how comfortable the conversation was with you. That was awesome.
Well, I appreciate it.
Good to see you again, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
You guys.
Everybody else, you got any comments? Let us know. And we'll catch you all next week. Thanks for watching.
See you in 3 weeks.
See you in 3 weeks.
Bye.